There you go. It's been covered. Today, and then what we also did is your identity can go the other way around. So that means that it can go from left to right and right to left. So today we're going to do question 9. Again, this is also going to be in your test. So make sure you guys know how to do this. And I will do one, and then you will try to do the other one. Okay, like what I did last time. So you guys have to try your best to do, because it's in your test. We're gonna start with this type of, oops, sorry. So this question is a little bit different from question 1 to 8, is because this time they're giving you two angles, two sine functions, two trigonometric expression. One is sine u and one is cosine v. So in this case, that you require to know how to do this based on the quadrant they are in. So they say that both angle U and V angles are in quadrant 3. So before even we continue doing A, B, C, D, E, F here, you have to draw me a triangle, and you got two angles. One is for U and one is for V, and they are in quadrant 3. So quadrant 3, the triangle looks something like this. Oops, sorry, wrong triangle. Don't forget, just want to point out to you guys, it is a ribbon. Don't forget, this is what we did. So quadrant 3, it looks something like this. There you go. This is much better. Do not forget that when your angle is in quadrant 3, your opposite and your adjacents are negative. Okay, so both of these are negative. Your hypotenuse is always positive. So the first one we have is sine u equals to -7/25. So this is back to your chapter 6, your first test. So 7, -7 is your opposite, and 25 is your hypotenuse. So this is how we apply the sine u of this. And can someone tell me what is your adjacent will be? We need to find a triplets for this. I think it's 7, 24, 25. I think it's 24 and 25. Let's do it really quickly. 7 square is 49. 25 square is, where's 25 square? 25 square is 625 minus 7 square is 49, and then you take a square root of this. Yep, 24. So this is 24. Again, this is what a lot of students do wrong in your first test, is make sure that both the opposite and the adjacents are negative, because this is in quadrant 3. Okay, so I want you guys to go ahead and figure out angle V here. Okay, and I have a phone call actually, so give me a second and I will. So go ahead and figure out angle V here. I got stops. So cosine V is -4/5. So can someone tell me what is the adjacent?
Is it
-3?
Or
No, adjacent is -4. Don't forget, cosine is adjacent over by hypotenuse. What is your opposite?
-3.
Yep, don't forget the negative, very important. And what will be your hypotenuse?
5.
5. So now what you do here is, with these two triangles that we have, find the sine, cosine, tangent for u. Sine u we really know, because it's given to us, is -7/25. So can someone tell me what is cosine u and tangent u on this triangle?
Is it negative 24 over 25?
And tangent,
And then negative 7 over negative 24?
because both of them are negative, so it's become
Oh, yeah.
positive. It's fine. Yep, that's good. So make sure you don't put two negative. You guys know, right? Two negative become positive. Go ahead and do sine V, cosine V, and tangent V for this angle. For this angle, for this triangle. So sine V is,
Negative 3 over 5.
cosine V is,
Negative 4 over
Negative
5.
4 over 5.
yep, which is given to us in the question. And tangent V is,
3 over
3 over
4.
4.
oh, good, good, good. You guys still remember your SOHCAHTOA. And yes, SOHCAHTOA is still going to be used throughout the whole semester here. So once we get this, so this is just all the, like, your like when you're in the cook, this is your ingredients. You haven't cooked yet, you haven't got the food yet. So now we're gonna figure out what is cosine U plus V. So my question to you is this cosine U plus cosine V? Is this correct? Is this correct?
Isn't it cosine U minus cosine V?
Oh, is that cosine U minus cosine V? Is this correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Do you guys look at the formulas? Do we have a formula saying that cosine U plus V is cosine U minus cosine V? This is wrong.
Shouldn't they be multiplied?
I told you, can you distribute your cosine inside here? Can we distribute the cosine?
No.
No, yes, we cannot distribute the cosine here. So this is completely wrong. So if you do this in my test, you get no points. So don't do this. So does anyone remember the formula for cosine U plus V here? This is on the very Monday. We did it on Monday. So what is
It's cosine U cosine V minus sine U sine V.
Yes, this is the correct one. So a lot of students did what I just did there, and they got like no points in the test. So make sure you do this. So it's cosine U times cosine V minus sine U times sine V. Now look at your values here. Can someone tell me what is cosine U is if you look at this picture, the one?
Negative 24 over
24 over
25.
25.
Very good. And then cosine V,
Negative 4 over 5.
can you do this in my test?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, we'll see. And sine U,
Negative 7 over 25.
and sine V.
Negative 3 over 5.
Yep. So my question to you is this picture important? Here, everything, the first thing that we did here, is that important to us?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what happens if one of these is wrong?
And everything's wrong.
Okay, you guys got that. Now we're gonna do this. So we're gonna multiply the fractions. Does anyone remember how you multiply fractions?
Right across.
Straight across. So what's negative 24 times negative 4? Calculate.
96. 96.
And 25 times 5.
125.
And then same thing over here. Multiply this across. The negative later on. Negative 7 times negative 3 is 21. And you got 125, right? And since they are the same denominator, you can subtract. Can someone help me to subtract these two numbers?
75.
75.
And reduce it. Now, your calculator can reduce, you use the ABC button. So go ahead and reduce this fraction.
3/5.
3/5. Yep, thank you. And that is correct. That's your answer. So now what you guys need to do for me is you're gonna do the sine piece. Sine u plus v. Go ahead. I'm gonna copy this down, class, because I will put you guys in groups again. So make sure you copy these triangles down. This is important. And then you have to tell me how you find b, sine u plus v. So I'm going to put you guys in groups here. I'll give you a couple of minutes to copy this down. Class, make sure you guys start copy things down here, because if you're not writing this down, you're not following with me, just withdraw from my class, because you're going to flunk the next test, guaranteed. So please start copy stuff down and print these notes out if you want to. If you don't want to copy the questions, just print it out. All right. I'm going to put you guys in group. I have to stop sharing here. And I got 23 students. Okay, I'm going to put you guys in 5 groups again. Okay. Go ahead and try to do the second question, sine u plus v. Yep, you guys gotta join the group here. Zoe, yep, go join your group. Zoe, are you there? Zoe? Zoe, are you there? Zoe, last chance. Are you there with me? Reply back to me. Quiet here. Anyone's not talking?
Hi.
I'm just working on a thing.
Okay.
I was setting up the triangles.
The triangles are redrawn. We use
know.
the same triangle. Yep. I'll be back. You guys are quiet here either.
For the sine u plus v, the equals sine u cosine u, I got negative 7/25 times -4/5 minus negative 24/25, and then negative 3/5.
Yeah, I got the same.
I think
We got 4/5.
Yep.
You guys good?
Yep.
What's your answer?
4/5.
Good. You guys good?
Yep, we're good.
What's your answer?
4/5.
Good, very good. Yep. So anyone know how to do question B? Sine U plus V? Meng,
Yes.
what is
Say sine u times cosine v plus cosine u times sine v.
very good. And what I'm gonna call someone else. Someone asked me, do you guys need to memorize this for your test too? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, yep. So you do need to memorize this for your test, this section, very important. Now, Jack, can you tell me what is sine U is based on this triangle?
Sine U is going to be -7/25.
Cosine V, one more time, Jack.
Cosine V is going to be -4/5.
Okay. Plus, same thing here, cosine U.
-24/25.
Okay, and sine V.
-3/5.
Okay. And very similar to question A here, thank you so much, that's correct. And you just multiply this. So, so when you multiply this, you get 28/125. And when you multiply this, you get what? Anyone?
72/125.
And total of this is
100/125.
which is
4/5.
Yep. Okay. So so this is how we find using cosine and sine. So what happens if I want you to figure out what is the opposite of cosine, reciprocal of cosine, secant. So what happens if this question wants us to find secant U plus V? What you do?
You flip it.
Yep, you still need to find the cosine first. You still need to do A like here. And once you got your answer, you flip it. So your answer in this case will be what?
5/3.
5/3. And sine is cosecant. So what happens if I call you to find what is cosecant U plus V?
This 5/4.
So it'll be 5/4. So you flip it. So I'm not gonna go over the DEF because they are using the secant, cosecant, cotangent. So if you want to do this, then make sure you find what is the V minus U or U minus V first. Make sure you guys know that if you switch around the UV and VU, it's different. Okay, it's different. So we're gonna do part C now. I'm not gonna do U minus V because everything is U minus V. So I'm gonna switch it around to V minus U. So I'm gonna do a little bit change on this one. So tangent V minus U. And some students ask me is V minus U and U minus V the same? Not the same. So that's why you need to be careful with this. When I ask for V minus U, it's not the same as U minus V. So let's see what happens to V minus U here. So, so now because I switch around your V and your U, so when you look at your tangent formula, can someone tell me what is the formula to use for tangent V minus U?
Would it be tangent V minus tangent V over 1 plus tangent V, tangent U.
Yep. All right, so I want you guys to go ahead and cut again the triangle. We still use the same triangles here. So again, I'm gonna put you guys back in groups. So oh, you know what? I'm not gonna do in groups. I want you guys to do individually right now. So go ahead, take this and plug it back into here. All this, go ahead and take out your calculators. So it is an individual work here, like a test. Go and do it now. Oops. I should share my screen. I'm able to share my screen. Sorry about that. Should not do that. I hate Zoom. All right. Anyone here can help me with this? Okay, we'll pick someone else here. Nikita, can you tell me what is tangent V minus tangent U?
Do you want like the answer or what to plug in?
Tangent V, not that I find the answer, just give me tangent V minus tangent U.
-3/4 minus -7/24.
We don't have a -3/4 for tangent V.
3/4.
It's just 3/4. Minus tangent U, Nikita.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nikita, tangent U.
-7/24.
Again, we don't have a negative. So tangent doesn't have a negative. In this case, quadrant 3. So it should be just 7/24. So make sure you guys know this. One negative, screw everything up. Logan, can you tell me what is the bottom part? 1 plus what?
1 plus 3/4 times 7/24.
Now, take out your calculator. Use the ABC symbols. I want you guys to do what is 3ABC4 minus 7ABC24. You have a calculator. You got the ABC symbol, fraction symbol, we call it. Abdisala, what is your answer here?
I'm still stuck on, I'm trying to do the fractions.
You got your
11/24.
Yep. Abdisala, make sure you have your calculator. Do you have your calculator with you, Abdisala?
Oh, no.
Get one. We are doing calculator works here. You can also do the same thing on the bottom part. You just take 1 plus parenthesis 3ABC4, close a parenthesis, and then parenthesis 7ABC24. So class, I already told you, you need a calculator for your test since beginning of the semester. So if you do not want to invest $10 or $15 on your calculator, it's not my fault. I don't know why you guys still not going to invest $10, $15 on in a very basic calculator. Adrian, what you guys get? What you get when you do the bottom one? Adrian?
I got 140 over 96.
Let me check. That will be 4 times 24. That's 96 plus 21. Yep. Should be 117, right?
Oh yeah, 117. My bad.
I got what?
117. If you do not know how to do this using your calculator, you better talk to me because this is crucial. And again, this type of questions coming up in your test, and don't blame me because you doesn't know how to do fractions in your calculators. Lastly, again, in your calculator, you just type 11 over ABC 24 over by 117 ABC 96. So yeah, your calculator do all the fraction works for you. You do not need to find the LCDs and all this with this anymore.
I have a question. Do we have to simplify 117 over 96?
You can, but your you can, but I need you to simplify at the very end.
Okay.
Do you get 44 over 117?
When you simplify this number?
No, when you divide 11 over 24 by 117 over 96.
I need to use my calculator. If I don't like to use the computer calculator, it's really bad. All right. Anyone? Is that Nick? Is that Nicholas say that?
Yeah.
What you got? I'm sorry.
44 over 117.
You guys good with that one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Again,
Yes.
class, those students who do not know how to use your calculator, you need to talk to me. This is very important. This is very basic. Yep, this is correct. Okay. Make sure you know your ABC symbols. That's your fraction symbols using your calculators. Do I teach you that on the first day of class? I do not know, but if you don't get this, make sure you not talk to me. Very important. This is very easy. So tangent V minus U is this 44 over 117. So can someone tell me what is cotangent V minus U is?
117 over 44.
Yep. So again, we are not going over the secant, the cosecant, and the cotangent one because in the test, usually I will ask one of this, the secant, the cosecant, or the cotangent one. So you have to find the cosine or the sine or the tangent, depends on which reciprocal you're talking about. Do what we did here, and then you flip it at the end. Questions with this one? Can you guys do this in my test? It's in your test. With a calculator for sure. Okay. Next we're gonna talk about is we're gonna prove some identity here. Yep, we're gonna start proving identity. Now, again, proving identities, we are using these 3 formulas and your basic formulas that you guys learned previously. So so let's take a look at some proving identity here. So 11 you have to prove sine pi over 2 plus x is equals to cosine x. So we're gonna apply the left hand side here because this is u and this is v. So can ask someone else. Natalie, can you tell me what is the formula for this case?
I don't know. I'm kind of in trouble on this one. Like I get the other stuff, but not so much on this one. Oh, was it right there?
Class, don't forget the formula is those three.
3, yeah. Oh, sine pi over 2. Is it the, do we use the top one?
Yes,
Right.
that's the sign. That's the top one. Yes.
So it's shoot.
It's sine u cosine v, right? So what is sine u in this case?
Sine u is sine pi over 2.
Yes.
And then you said plus v, right?
No, I didn't say plus. I said multiply with cosine v.
Okay. And then
Okay, this one.
And then it's sine u cosine vx parentheses. And then would be minus.
Look at the sign. See the plus is on top.
Oh, the
So
plus. Okay. So plus. And then it is sine.
no.
Oh, cosine pi over 2. And then sine x.
Yep. That's correct. So class, as I mentioned, practice. And if you are not practicing, your test 2 will be still going to be the same test, the same point as the test 1. Very straightforward to you guys. All right, now because this has angles on it, so we can use your pi over 2. So pi over 2 is right over here. This is pi over 2 at 90 degrees. What is the coordinates for this case? Syed, what is the coordinates we use for pi over 2?
0 and 1 or
And what is sine in this, sine pi over 2 in this case?
1.
1. And what is cosine pi over 2?
0.
Yep, you're correct, Yuko. That is correct. And so you, what happens to the cosine x and sine x? You just rewrite it. The reason why we cannot do anything with this is because there's no angle. It's because your angle is x. And you guys know what happens when you multiply this by 1. What you get?
The same number.
This one you get cosine x, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what happens when you multiply this with 0?
You get 0.
You got 0. So your answer is cosine x, which is the same as what?
Cosine x.
The right hand side here. You guys with me here? Because you're gonna prove the next one, number 12. So write down question 12. Because you guys, again, I put you guys in group. You have to prove cosine 5 pi over 4 minus x is equals to negative root 2 over 2 cosine x plus sine x. And the hint is you start from your left hand side. So majority, I can tell you that we always start from the left hand side. So start from this side. There is a formula for this. And then you do the same thing as what we have here. It's very similar to number 11. Okay, I'll give you one more minute to copy this question down before I put you guys in groups. Okay, I am gonna put you guys in group now. Okay, go to the group. Yang, are you here? Yang Wang, are you here? Last chance. Yang Wang, are you here? Not here means that I am not taking your attendance with present anymore. You have to participate now. Look at your test score and you can tell what happens. So you will be in my class. If you're not doing any work, you're not talking or not typing anything, I will mark you as absent in the classroom now. It's not just typing present anymore. No one did that anymore. I just changed it last Monday. So make sure you watch what, yep, it's changed. So go ahead, guys, talk how we do this.
For this one, it's subtraction, I mean addition, right? Or wait.
Damon, you are muted.
Okay. For this one, it should be sine 5 pi over 4 times cosine x plus sine 5 or sine pi over 4, or cosine 5 pi over 4 times cosine x plus sine 5 pi over 4 times sine x. Sorry, I was reading it wrong.
You're fine. That's correct. Right? Go ahead and figure out what is cosine and sine 5 pi over 4 is. I'll be back with
They're
you guys.
both okay.
Okay, go ahead. Yep.
So both negative root 2.
You guys got this one?
Yeah.
We got close to about. I have a question though.
Yeah, it's the last step that we're on.
Yeah. So we have a negative square root 2 over 2 times cosine minus x plus negative square root 2 over 2 times sine minus x.
Not minus x.
Yeah, without the minus.
Yep.
Just
so when we do the
cosine
UV,
x.
we don't take the negative sign of it. Main.
Okay.
So it's negative root 2 over 2 cosine x and negative root 2 over 2 sine x. No negative.
Okay.
Yeah, we just don't know what to do next after the step.
Okay, look at your right hand side and what do you see? Anyone?
You see a negative root 2 over 2 and then parentheses.
What does that
cosine x
mean? What does that mean when you do that?
Factor. 4.
Yes. Go ahead and do that. Yep, we call it as factor. Yes, because both of them have negative root 2 over 2. So factor it out. Yep, that is correct. I'll be back. Go back to the next one.
Root 2 over 2 times sine x. And yeah, after this, I'm not so sure.
So this is the same thing a lot of asking. Side, yes, go for it.
Yeah, I was stuck here on the.
So look at the right side. What do you see on the right-hand side of the proving identity?
I see it is root 2/2 times cosine x plus sine x.
So what does that mean when you see that? What does that mean if you look at what you have and what is?
Probably factor.
Yes, you are correct. So you have to factor what out?
The root 2/2.
And don't forget, because that in 5 pi over 4 is not a positive root 2/2, it's actually is what?
It's negative. Yeah, that's what got me confused because I'm not, because it's a positive root 2/2 on the right hand side, but these are
No, it's supposed
Oh.
to be negative because can someone tell me what is sine 5 or cosine 5 pi over 4? Is what quadrant is it belongs to?
the third.
And quadrant 3, what happens to cosine and sine?
They're negative.
They are negative. So it's not
Right.
just root 2/2, it's negative root 2/2 on both of them.
Yeah.
So what you do with that?
You would
Factor what out?
factor out the negative root 2/2.
Yep. Don't forget, there is a negative root 2/2 on the right-hand side. Do you guys copy it right, Leroy?
Okay. I didn't see the negative on
Yep,
the
there is a
right-hand side.
negative
Okay,
root
so
2/2
that's
on that side.
okay. That's why I got confused.
I'll be back. Yep. You guys got this one?
So we got negative square root 2/2 times cosine x plus negative square root 2/2 times sine
Negative
x.
what?
Negative root 2/2 times sine.
Yep, that's correct. So
And then
what
now
you-
I think we can like maybe factor out the square root 2. Okay.
negative root 2/2, because if you look at the right side, I did factor out the negative root 2/2.
Yeah.
So you factor that out.
Yeah.
And you will get cosine x plus sine x on the.
Mhm.
Yep, that is good. Yep. Good.
Sounds good.
Questions you guys have?
I'm completely lost.
Yeah, I don't know how to set this up either.
So what do you
kinda-
guys have?
I came up with negative pi. It's negative 2 pi over 2 cos x plus negative 2
Okay,
pi
can you tell me what is the formula we use on here?
cos cos. I have it written down. Cos u times cos v.
What is a
plus-
u and v here? Yep.
The u and v is 5 pi over 4 is the u.
So cosine what?
Cosine is 5 pi over 4.
So cos u, what is cos u is?
5 pi over 4.
And continue.
And the v is x.
So cosine u times what? Cosine
Cosine
v.
x. I
Okay.
mean v, yeah.
Yep, it's fine. You use x here. And
Okay,
then
and then it equals sine
plus
plus sine over sine 5 pi over 4 times sine x. And I got cos 5 pi over 4 as negative 2 square 2 square root I can't say it. Negative 2 square root
root 2/2.
Root 2/2, yeah, negative. And then times cos x. And then plus root 2/2 negative times sine x.
Very good. That's correct.
And then that's as far as I got.
So
I think correctly.
Look at this side. You're close. So what do you guys do here? Anyone?
Are you supposed to distribute the other side?
So instead of distribute, what we do here, what's the opposite of distributing?
Fold. No.
We will, anyone helping Nicholas, Carl,
I
Dosia?
don't know the word. I just know how to put it together.
So what we call this, when you take this and put it all back in here, we call it, what we call?
It's a factor.
Yes,
My
we factor him. So what we factor here? We factor the
2 pi over 2.
negative.
I mean 2.
Root 2 over
Root 2 over 2.
So what you got once you factor it out?
Oh,
Yeah, you get
so negative.
No, negative. Both of them are factor out. So I
Oh.
take this out and I take, because they are common factor.
Okay, so then you just got cos x plus sine x.
Mhm. Which is the same as here.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
That's all.
Yeah, that's it. That's your right hand side.
Oh, okay.
Using the last part is the one that a lot of people make. I will show it to everyone.
Okay.
So class, a lot of you did really good applying the cosine u minus v formula. The only thing that a lot of, and then you guys know that cosine 5 pi over 4 and sine 5 pi over 4 is negative root 2 over 2. So I went back already. So mostly people did not do this. Lastly is, if you look at your right hand side, is that is a factoring, that is a negative root 2 over 2 being taken out. We call this as factor. So what you need to do here is you factor it out. Okay, so because they are common factor. So so once you factor it out, then you will get the cosine x plus sine x. So make sure you guys understand this. So if you look at something like this in your test, it means this is being factored out. So which is the opposite of distributing. And this is how we prove this. Questions that you guys have? All right, next question number 13 and 14. This last two questions, no, we're gonna do. So question 13, we have to prove that sine x plus y, again, is a proving identity, plus sine x minus y is equals to 2 sine x cosine y. So think about this. And where do you start? You can tell that we will start at the left hand side because we can do something with this. And we can also do something with this.
Is the x considered the u and the y considered the v?
Yep. Okay. So Faris, can you tell me what is the formula we use for sine x plus y is? Which is very similar to this one.
Yeah, sine u cosine v.
So we don't use u and v here. It's sine.
Oh, sine x.
Times with
cosine y.
Okay. And
plus cosine x times sine y.
Very good. That is correct. This is just from this green box. Then we have a plus because this is a plus sign we have. And now we will do the blue box here. Cameron, can you tell me what is sine x minus y is?
Would it be sine x
times cosine y minus cosine x times sine y.
Mhm. Make it bigger so you can see it. Can someone tell me what can we do here once we apply these two formula?
Can we combine the like terms?
Combine like terms. So what like terms do we have here? This and this are like terms, right? So how many?
Yes.
How many we have when you combine this?
So it's 2 sine x cosine.
We got 2 sine x cosine y because they are 1 each. And these are also like terms. And what happens when you combine those?
They cancel out.
Yeah, because one is plus and one is minus. So that's why you get this at your right hand side. So again, the proving here is not as difficult as what you did in your task, where we will be just concentrating using the addition and subtraction of your trig functions here. Questions, anyone? And don't forget, every time when you prove, make sure you look at your goal. This is what you try to get. So this is usually a big stuff when you guys proving is you want to prove where you end at. Right, so this is proving and you have solving. Class, when I asked you to give me the equations, the interval for 0 to 2 pi, do you do plus minus 2n pi or plus minus n pi in this case?
No.
No. Okay, so same thing in your test, same thing with your extra credit, which is due tonight, right? I don't know how many of you did extra credit yet. So make sure you guys do your extra credit. So this is solving now, it's not proving, and it is from 0 to 2 pi. So that means that 1 revolution, not infinite revolution. So the first one we have is cosine x plus pi over 4 minus cosine x minus pi over 4. This is equals to 1. So I want you guys to figure out what is the formula to use for the first here, the blue one, and what is the formula to use for the second one. Forget this is cosine now.
The first one, do you want me to tell you or?
Yeah.
Cosine x times cosine pi over 4.
Okay.
Minus sine x times sine pi over 4.
Very good. And because there is a minus in the middle, so we'll put a minus sign here. Now, when you have a minus sign, you need an extra parenthesis. So when you do your green one, this fellow, this negative will contribute or have to distribute into your terms here. So one mistake students do in my test is they forgot to distribute this negative and everything is going to be wrong. So can someone tell me, not Faris, because looks like Faris got this. Ayub, can you tell me what is cosine x minus pi over 4?
I think isn't it the same thing but with a negative? I mean,
no, with
positive.
So it should be what? Cosine
cosine pi over 4 plus or minus? I think, yeah, plus.
Which is one, plus or minus?
Plus.
Plus what?
Sine x and sine pi over 4.
Yep. And don't forget, this is all equals to 1 because it's solving equation here. So this negative you will distribute. Can someone tell me what happens when you distribute your negative? This term will become negative. Then what happens to your sine x, sine pi over 4? This term will be also what? Become negative. So if you look at this whole thing, can you combine like terms? So what happens to cosine x, cosine pi over 4 with negative cosine x and cosine pi over 4? It will be cancel out. And what happens to the negative sine x sine pi over 4 with negative sine x sine pi over 4? So when you combine this, you get what?
When you get negative 2 sine x sine pi over 4.
Because this is -1 and this is -1. So you will get -2 here. And this is all equals to 1. Now, what you need to tell me here is, how do we get rid of this -2? You are solving for x. Don't forget, we are solving for x here. So how do we, oh, no need to, first tell me what is sine pi over 4, because this one is the value. Because we got an angle.
√2/2.
Yep, this is √2/2. So what happens is when you multiply this with the 2, -2, the 2 and the 2 will what? Will cancel out. So what you have is a -√2 sine x equals to 1. So now how do we solve this? Divided by -√2. Does anyone, and then move the sign? What happens when you move your sign? Become what? When you move your sign, it become what? X equals to
1 over -√2.
Can you rationalize this?
Yes. -√2 over -2 or √2. Oh,
this is -√2 over 2. That's how we rationalize this. What happens when you move the sign over? It become what? The arc sign, the inverse. Yep. The arc sign of it. So can someone tell me what angle gives sine a -√2/2? What quadrant is belongs to? Anyone knows that?
3.
And
3 and 4.
4. Yep, because sine is negative in 3 and 4. So anyone remember √2/2 is
5 pi over 4.
And that's quadrant 3.
7 pi over 4.
Yep. So this is how we do this question. Tough? A little bit. I didn't say this is easy. So now you guys have to do question number 15. So this is question number 15. Tangent x plus pi plus 2 sine x plus pi is equals to 0. Copy this question 15 down. And this will be your last question for today. And this is the end of, once you finish this, we will done with here. So I will put you guys in group and I will start taking attendance. So copy this down. Again, you are solving this from 0 to 2 pi. And I'll put you guys in group. You guys, it's a long one. Okay, so good time. Put you guys in group. Last one. Sanders, are you there? Anyone from this group? Quiet.
We're not sure what to do with the 2.
You multiply in.
So it would be like 2 sine x times 2 negative 1, for example.
Nope, it's 2 sine x cosine pi. The whole thing.
Yeah, I know. Oh.
Not so that means that is one term consider.
So you don't have to find what cosine pi is?
We do after that. Yep, then cosine pi is -1. So that means that this 2 is not distributing to sine and cosine. It's because when you break this, you got 2 terms.
Yeah.
And you distribute the 2 to only 2 terms.
So you don't distribute it into the -1 after?
No.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So it would be 2 sine x cosine pi plus 2 cosine x sine pi as well?
That is correct, Faris. And then after you change the cosine and sine pi to 0 and -1. Yep.
Okay. So it would be 2 sine x -1?
So that would be -2 sine x just.
Oh, okay. I see.
Because when you multiply that,
Yeah.
And I'll be right back with you guys. Questions, anyone here?
I'm still solving.
This is tough. So you guys know what it looks like in the test. The next test very similar to this kind of questions. Not this. This is very tough actually.
That's really
So,
tough.
so after I substituted the tangent pi, cosine pi, and sine pi. I got tangent x plus 2 sine x is equal to 0.
Not plus 2 sine x. What is cosine pi is?
Cosine pi is, isn't cosine pi 1 equal to 1?
No. The other way. Cosine pi is on the other side of x. So it should be what? Negative 1. So instead of plus 2, it should be minus 2. And I'll be coming back with the next one. Yep, questions on this one?
So I don't know if my answer is correct or not, but I got x equals pi or 0. Pi and 0.
I do not know, but I need to do it, but
okay.
I don't know what's on top of my head, but I will check with later on. Yep, we'll check with you guys. I say if I look at my question, then yeah, I will do it, but I'll do it together.
Okay.
I'm thinking so. Questions on this?
I don't know where to go from, after you set everything up on the left side. I don't know where to go from there.
So what you guys got, Cal or Nick?
I think for for tangent x plus pi, I did tangent x plus tangent pi over 1 plus tangent x times tangent pi.
And
It should be 1 minus tangent x times tangent pi.
That's good. And what is tangent pi is?
That's something I'm trying to figure out.
And then what you have on?
Oh wait, is tangent pi negative? No, wait. I'm thinking about it. No, is it 0?
Yes, tangent pi is 0.
Oh, so that's how you figure it out. It's just negative 0 divided by negative 1.
Yes, you are correct.
Oh, that's finally.
Okay, and then what happens to the other side? The next
I did 2 sine x times cos pi. Is the 2 distributed to everything?
No, 2 is just distribute to that
so
part.
2 sine x cos pi plus cos x times sine pi.
With the 2.
On the signs?
On both, because when you have plus means it's a 2 terms.
Oh
so
yeah.
The 2 will distribute.
So there's a 2 on the cos now.
Yes. And again, what is sine pi and cos pi is?
Cos pi is -1 and sine pi is 0. So the right side of it cancels out.
So what you have what do you have when you simplify everything?
-2 sine x. No wait.
That's correct. And then
what's
yep. And tangent x on the front, right?
Yeah.
Then equals to 0, right?
1 minus tangent x.
Think about the tangent x piece.
Tangent x over, wait, is it just 1 plus -2 sine x?
No.
No?
It's just tangent x by itself.
Oh.
So it should be 10 because everything is 0. Tangent pi is 0. So it should be get tangent x minus 2 sine x.
So, but what do you do with the 1 minus?
0, because that whole thing is 0.
Oh yeah, okay.
So 1 minus 0 is 1. Yep.
And then so
I'll come back with that.
Just tangent x, yeah.
Just get tangent x. I'll come back with what you have there. I need to go to the next room here.
Okay.
Tan x minus or you put that together, so you got tan x minus the 2 sine x.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
Equals to 0, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys okay with that part?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we will continue with that. So just hold on to that, and then we will continue to that. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, you guys are back. I'll wait for you guys. What do you guys feel now? You guys feel a bit confident?
This one's kind of iffy at the end.
Yeah, at the end, when you get tan x plus -2 sine x, I'm confused about that part.
Yep. Well, we'll do that. The last piece. So so this you will get 10x plus 10 pi over by 1 minus 10x 10 pi. But for the sine 2x, I should just not include the 2. The sine x plus pi is sine x cosine pi plus cos x sine pi. And then this 2 that you see here is it will be distribute. And you're not distributing to 4 terms because that is not 4 terms here. If you look carefully here, you only get 2 terms. So you only distribute the 2 to this whole thing and this whole thing. Okay. But first thing first, let's take care of your pi. Does anyone know what is tangent pi is?
0.
0. So that means this will be 0. This will be 0. Cosine pi?
-1.
-1. So this will become -1. Sine pi?
0.
This will become 0. Yeah, sine pi is 0. So now if you simplify this, you will just only get tangent x here because this whole thing is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1, and anything over 1 you can ignore it. Okay. Since this is 0, so 0 times cosine x, this one also can be ignored because it's all 0 up. So what you have in this case is -2 sine x. Where is the negative come from? It came from the cosine pi. It's a -1. Now, this is where a lot of you got here. So please pay attention. How do we do this? This is not square. If they are square, we can use Pythagorean identity. So what we're going to do here is we're going to use the quotient identity to change tangent. Do you guys remember what is the quotient identity for tangent?
Sine over cosine.
So this is sine x over cosine x -2 sine x. Now what we're going to do in this case is we will factor this 1 over cosine x out. The reason why is because once you factor 1 over cosine x out, sorry, not factor that one out. My bad. We'll factor the sine x out because sine x is in common. So we factor the sine x out. So once you factor sine x out from this, you will get 1 over cosine x -2. Okay, so we are factoring the sine x out. So we will get 1 minus cosine x -2. So with this, since this is equal to 0, we can make them equal to 0. So in this case, sine x equals to 0. And 1 over cosine x equals to 2. Because we'll move the 2 over. So this is the part that you will solve for it. So can someone tell me what is the x in this case for sine arcsine of 0?
0.
And
2 pi.
and pi, yep. 0 and pi and 2 pi, right?
Yeah.
But since if you look at this question, it says 2 pi is not included. So that will give you 0 and pi. So this is just for 0 and pi, but we got another one here. So so we have to
Would that become 1/2?
yes. So we flip this. So that means that your cosine x is 1/2.
And then that becomes pi over 3.
So 60 degrees, pi over 3, quadrant 1, and quadrant what?
And quadrant 4,
Which
5 pi
is-
over 3.
Yep. So your answer in this case will be 0 and pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. So these are the two answers you will get.
I didn't get how you got the first one, the sine x.
I'm sorry?
I don't know how you got the sine x, the 0 and pi.
You set this equals to 0.
Okay, how did you get the pi?
If you look at your value here, so sine is your y value, right? So the y value that gets 0 is either 0 or pi.
Oh, okay, I see.
And 2 pi. And same thing over here for cosine half. So if you look at this in your unit circle, you find out that 1/2 is your cosine is your x value, and this is actually pi over 3. And same thing on that one. So this is how we figured this question out. So class, your homework for next week is this section 7.4. They will be having some they will be having some solving equations like what you did here and proving identities. So that means your test 2 does have solving equations and proving identities again. So this is the end of 7.4 here. So we're gonna stop today's class. And if you have any questions, please let me know or stay after class. You do need to brush out about this. As I told you in your second test, I will not give you a unit circle. So some of you ask, can I draw the unit circle for when I give you the test? Yes, it's not cheating. You just need to draw it out and figure it yourself like what I just did here. It will take you maybe 1 or 2 minutes to draw it out. So now, so make sure you guys know how to do that. If you have questions, do stay back. If you do not have questions, you may go. I retake your attendance already. Check your grades in D2L. If anything I put anything wrong, just let me know.